Welcome to Catch Her Spark with Jen Maldonado. These are conversations with women who are building meaningful careers, stepping into leadership, and designing life on their own.
Oh my goodness. Today it's an amazing day. We have Jessica Nelson. She is a mom. She wears multiple hats, but also she's an emergency doctor when things happen. And I think her career and her journey will be so inspirational. And I think that all of us will enjoy getting to know her. So, Jessica, how are you today?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Well rested. The kids are on spring break, so no shuffling this week. So catching up on my sleep.
Don't we all have to catch on that sleep, right?
Yeah.
That's great, Jessica. Thank you for taking the time and we being with us today. I think that our audience want to know more about you. Can you tell us what you do?
Sure. So I'm an emergency medicine physician. A lot of people have no clue what that even means. They ask like if I'm a surgeon or if I cut people open or do I deliver babies, and it's kind of like all of the above. But only if it's an emergency. So if I'm delivering your baby, that's like the last thing that you want, right? But no, I'm an emergency medicine physician. I manage like acute medical illnesses. We go anywhere from super acute things, like super serious things like cardiac arrest, to your common cough, cold, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. So we kind of manage and handle everything on that spectrum from super, super serious to super benign. So that's what I do.
Wow, that's a lot of responsibility and a lot of things to manage at the same time. This is this is a career I have a lot of respect because it requires a heart and a focus that I'm like, I don't know how you do it. That I gonna tell it. I'm gonna tell it. So I'm very interested because there's always a story on how people start at their work, at their line of work. How did Jessica get started in this line of work?
um, how did I get started in the line of work? How did I choose that field? So I liked when I was in medical school, I liked everything, right? I liked delivering babies. I liked surgery. I liked the medicine side. I like critical care. And I didn't even really know I wanted to do emergency medicine until I did a rotation. So I kind of found out later than a lot of my colleagues who knew coming straight into medical school that they wanted to do emergency medicine. So I was a little bit behind the curve, a little bit behind the ball when I made the decision. But yeah, I loved everything. And I couldn't really say I wanted to do one particular thing for the rest of my life. So I picked emergency medicine. Now, as I've gotten older, you pick this career when you're like 20 and you're full of energy and like you're okay with like these adrenaline surges every day. So I picked that career when I was like 25 years old, and now I'm 42, and those adrenaline surges like are not as fun. So, so I've kind of like pivoted my career a little bit, and I've diversified my career, and I've stepped into a medical director role in occupational medicine, a schedule that's a little bit more dependable, a lifestyle that's a little bit more stable, but is also still very rewarding because, emergency medicine and occupational medicine have this really interesting intersection, right? So I serve now in mostly like leadership positions in the occupational medicine capacity, and but I still work clinically in the ER because it's like you still are drawn to that adrenaline, like you can't completely let it go. So I work like 1 or 2 days a week in the ER still.
Wow, that's really the good side of both worlds, right? You still have that moment that you intensify and you're focused and you're doing that, and now you get to lead other people to do the same. To your point, life is about transitioning, and it looks like that's what
Mhm.
happened. That's amazing. That's amazing. So, what are you enjoying the
Mhm.
most out of your work today?
Um, Enjoying the most out of my work is making a difference really in other people's lives. I love people. I've always been a people person. I've always been super talkative. When I was younger, my teacher used to kick me out of the class or move my whole desk out of the class because I just love talking to people. I love people. So I think that's really my favorite part of just medicine in general, like not just the opportunity to get to know other people and get to hear their stories and get to, hear other people's life experiences and perspectives, but also the opportunity to shape other people's lives with medicine. That I think is what I love the most.
Wow. So when did you know that you wanted to be a doctor?
It's a funny story actually. So I actually wanted to be a vet first. I wanted to be a veterinarian, but surprisingly, vet school is a lot harder to get into than med school. I know that's crazy. So I applied to Texas A&M and was waitlisted and applied to UT and got into UT's CAP program and was had all complete intentions on becoming a veterinarian and got into like the pre-med program at UT and at UT Arlington and just pivoted. I decided to go people and study animals and that's kind of how that went.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. I love it. I love it. When I was a little girl, I wanted to be a veterinarian too, Jessica. And the moment I saw what needs to be done, I'm like, yep, nope, nope, I don't have the time for that. But it's such an
Yeah.
amazing career. And then my family have the medicine background. This is not for me, right? That's what I'm saying.
Hmm.
You need the heart and the brain for it. I did have the brain, but the heart and the stomach. No, 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 no. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my God, you guys are amazing. You guys are amazing. So I love that. And what is something that you are really proud professionally?
Proud of professionally. Um, that's a really good question. I've never been asked that. Um, Proud of professionally to be completely transparent. I am 13 years into, almost 14 years into my career, and I've never been sued. I've never had a complaint against me. I've never had to come to the board with anything. I've maintained good standing at every place that I've worked. Um, I've made and met a number of like amazing nurses, amazing nurse practitioners and physician's assistants and respiratory therapists and CNAs. And I guess the one of the things I'm most proud of is that, I've been able to learn from them as much as I think that they've learned from me, and we maintain those relationships. And I think I'm really proud of that. So, yeah.
That's amazing. Creating a community inside of your work and exchanging information, knowledge, experiences, and also as a doctor, as a doctor, I can appreciate too how important it is. You keep a clean record, which it tells me a lot about you, Jessica, right? Which it means
Hmm.
you're keeping. I always tell people like there's a difference between the good doctors and the ones that I don't know what they're doing, right? And the good doctors for me is the ones that keep treating humans as humans, not just as a patient. And that
Right.
combination allows you to always make the right decisions for them. So,
Yeah.
yeah, congratulations on that. That's something to
Yeah.
be really proud of. So,
Yeah. I,
yeah.
I remember when I was in residency, we were at the end of residency, and I think somebody asked one of the speakers a question during our didactics and asked, well, how do we make sure we never get sued, or how do we make sure like we have a successful career? And I remember the speaker saying, just always do the right thing. Treat the patient as if it was your family member, and staying true to that, you will never make the wrong decisions.
Wow, it pays off. It pays off. So,
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that. I think that a lot of women or people aspiring to become doctors, I mean, if they can also adapt that philosophy, to your point, it has payoff in many ways. Um,
Right.
yeah, because that's an exceptional career, right? So now let's go to the other fun stuff, right?
Mm.
What are some of the misconceptions or myth in your field?
Misconceptions is that I'm at work doing surgery all day. That I'm cutting people open all day, that I'm doing CPR all day, that I'm doing like critical care all day. That is probably the biggest misconception that I face right now. People will call me like, I know you're busy. You probably just got out of surgery. I'm like, no, I just saw somebody with a cough and a runny nose. Like I'm just not, not that. So I think that's probably the biggest misconception, even with my family. Like I've been an ER doctor now for 13, 14 years and they still don't know, what I really do. So yeah.
Yes, I remember when I was with my mom, the doctors will always tell her, bring her to the emergency room. And she's like, no, because she's going to think that I'm doing surgeries every day. So thank you for sharing that. Now I can
Yeah.
understand that. I'm like, I never had a conception mom about anything, but
Hmm.
now that makes sense to me. So that is awesome. Now, one thing I wanted to ask you too, it's, we spend a lot of time and enjoying work, but also I love to know more about Jessica. What does Jessica enjoy outside of work? What is something that she's like, I love to do that?
I wish I could answer that with the time and the ability to do what Jessica loves to do has really just been so limited because my kids are in this phase right now where they are like in the swing of like all the activities and doing all the things. So really my second job is Uber driver for my children. So getting them to and from their activities, to and from school, is really what I do, and getting them to places. But when we are not in the thick of all of their activities and doing things, we love to travel together. They're adventurous. I'm adventurous. We like to like whitewater rafting and hiking and climbing and like all the things. So we all love like nature and outdoors and just being in not Houston thick smoggy air.
To take yourself out of the environment and enjoy other places. So you love
Exactly.
traveling. There you go.
Yes. Yeah.
Adventure with
Yeah.
the kids.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I mean, congratulations, because that's one of the biggest challenges. I mean, I'm not sure about your situation, but many of the women I speak in your careers or other busy professionals like you, they're incredible successful in the careers of business, but that success usually comes with long hours and a lot of responsibility that do not leave leave way to do other things. So congratulations, because I know it's a very challenging to do. And also having those conversations, some people start thinking about the future, right? When they want to keep that level of success and income, but not work so hard for it. So
Hmm.
they start asking questions on how to create income beyond work every day. Things like investing in stocks, bonds, or getting financial planners, real estate, crypto, you name it, right? People get into that. What are your thoughts about that, creating income outside of work, especially when you are so busy?
Yeah. Diversifying is really important. Diversifying early in your career, even more important. I just really consider myself blessed. I didn't have that mind frame early on, but opportunities presented themselves early on in my career, that I can't, it was nothing but God. I mean, I'm a believer and I just truly, I I was not looking for opportunities. Opportunities just kind of came my way. And I'm thankful for that. But if I were mentoring someone early in their career, I would really tell them to look at, especially as a woman, look at what they want there. And this doesn't apply to just medicine, this applies to all um, leadership, executive level positions. Look at what you really want your life to look like, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years from today, because um, you need to make moves and decisions that will help get you to that point. And for me, coming, I had my first child when I was in residency. And that's just a hard time being a first time mom and being an intern. It was just a lot. So when my kids got older and I got out of residency and I finished fellowship, working in a hospital, working in an ER, you see a lot of death and you see a lot of people whose life changes at, literally the blink of an eye, right? A car accident, a cancer diagnosis, a death, uh, a loss of a limb, anything could change your life um, at a turn, blink of an eye at any moment. And for me, seeing that as an emergency physician, it just really changed my priorities. So for me, if it, whatever the opportunity is, if it doesn't align with me being able to prioritize what matters most to me, and that's my children, then it's not an option. And it became a really easy decision for me. It became easier to say no to things and became easier to turn down opportunities if I knew that I would be up late or I wouldn't get to spend Christmas with my kids, or if I would be at work at night instead of with my children, or if it didn't align, it just didn't align and it was okay. And what I realized in being very clear in my goals and priorities is that saying no and having boundaries actually makes companies want you more. So, like it was easy for me to say, like, thank you for the opportunity. And I think I'm going to, go a different direction. Then they sometimes will accommodate your boundaries, and realizing that, but that wasn't until like my late 30s, that blew my mind. I'm like, wow, like who knew that a company, a hospital, would accommodate you because you spend so much of your time early in your career thinking that you have to bend and lean into, give into whatever they say. So it's just very clear, just whatever your priority is, whatever your goal is, just maintain those boundaries and maintain and stay true to it, and everything else will literally fall into place.
That was goal right there, Jessica, right? It's every woman, every person listening to this. It's important that you create, yes, the life that you want, you visualize it, but also establishing boundaries and saying no when it's needed without losing your principles and priorities. It's key for success. So I believe 100% that. And if it's not aligned, as you say, it's not aligned, and it's okay not to be aligned, right? It's a different thing. So thank you, because that's a great advice in many ways, right?
Right,
That's an
right.
amazing story on how even some belief change, right? Some outgrown things that happen in those moments. So I have another question for you, right? Is there any, and I gotta make this one fun, is there any facts or quirks that people might not know about you?
Facts or quirks? Let's see. Um, I don't know. I mean, I was on the Family Feud with my family in like
Uh-huh.
2016, but a lot of people know that already. My friends and family already know that. I was on Untold Stories of the ER in
Wow.
2016. And I've been riding horses since I was 5. I'm a country girl.
Uh-huh.
I don't
Cool.
know. I guess that's really it. Have you ever heard of the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo?
No. Well, I did, and I want to go because my brother lives in Houston. So I
Yes.
want to go. I want to go. Were
Yes, they
you
have this big thing called the calf scramble, where these kids line up on this line and they let these cows go, and you have to catch this baby calf with
there?
just a rope. You have to chase them down, and if you get the calf, then you have to raise it and show it the next year in the rodeo.
Uh-huh.
So I was a part of the calf scramble at the Houston Livestock Show Rodeo when I was in high school, and I think that's probably something that most people don't know. I did
What?
not. I did not catch the calf. It's actually a lot harder than it looks, but I was in the building.
Wow. Well, the fact that you try it right away, I mean, that requires some like kudos to you, right? Wow, that's amazing. It's so good. I think that one of the things I love to do is a lot of people see the successful side, right, of a person as a human being and a woman, but they don't get to know these little silly things that make us so unique too, right?
Mhm.
So I really appreciate the fact that you share that. I think a lot of women are going to enjoy it too. It's like, oh yes, I did that too, or I want to do that too,
Mhm.
right? So thank you for being so transparent and sharing that with us. Um, so I, so Jessica, if people want to connect with you, what is the best way for them to do that?
I have, all social media handles. TikTok
Mhm.
is ERDRJess, so ERDRJESS. And on Instagram, it's at Dr. PYT, so at sign DRPYT. And Facebook, I don't even know how people find you on Facebook. They don't have a tag. So I don't know how that goes, but I'm on Facebook. I'm not really on YouTube or any of those other things. I'm working on it. But yeah, TikTok and Instagram are pretty much where you could find me.
Awesome. Well, Dr. Jessica, so thank you so much for taking the time and sharing with us and just sharing your story. I know a lot of women will get inspired and hear your journey and they will want to know more about Jessica because you can be that inspiration for another person want to go into your journey. So thank you so much for joining us into this audience and sharing your story.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
You've been listening to Catch Her Spark with Jen Maldonado, where bold women lead the way. Ready to share your spark? Apply to be a guest at catcherspark.com/guest.